Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things Podcast. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss Obi Wan Kenobi today, it's my partner in crime, it's Stefan.
Hello there.
Hello mate. Oh hang on, if you're going to do that.
Hello there.
There we go.
Yeah, how you doing?
I am good, sir. I am good. How are you?
Yeah, feels like we've not spoken in ages, man.
I know, every day this week. Every day this week.
Yeah, the Stuff and Things Podcast got busy, people.
I might phone in sick tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'm loving this. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It feels like we had that kind of massive gap during the pandemic where so many shows got delayed.
Yeah.
And then it's all hit. It's like, whoa, here we go. On our podcast, we're talking about The Boys Season 3, which is just launched. We're talking about Obi Wan Kenobi, obviously. Season 1, I'm going to say. I'm just going to float that out there.
Yeah, I'm floating that one now. I think this is not a one and done anymore, I don't think.
I'm not sure. I think a lot of it's going to greatly depend what happens in the final 2 episodes. I think there is obviously still a time period between when this ends and when episode 4, A New Hope, happens.
I mean, spoiler alert, I don't think Obi-Wan, Leia, or Vader are going to die.
What, in this series?
I'm just throwing it out there. I think those 3 are going to survive the series.
Okay, alright. Well, I mean, I think it's brave making these calls, but okay.
Luke, I'm not sure of. You know, he was such a small part at the beginning of the first episode. Like, I don't see how his character's going to develop, so they might kill him off. But, you know.
So you've just said that about Luke being a small part. How are you feeling about that? Because if you go online and you spend a little bit of time going through these Star Wars fan sort of reactions, it would seem a lot of people seem annoyed that the trailers gave us Luke, but the show has given us Leia. Is that bothering you at all?
I must be honest, it's not bothered me at all. I've actually really enjoyed the show. It was kind of a bit fun, like that first episode, where it was kind of like, oh, look, there's little Luke. Oh, it's all about Leia. Oh, okay. And then it's kind of stayed about that. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Like, I'm used to the Marvel Universe doing these trailers and us going, oh my God, the Hulk's going to be running through it. Oh, he's not even there. Okay. You know, so I'm used to it now.
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest with you, it doesn't bother me at all either. In fact, it was kind of like a really wonderful surprise in the first episode that we saw Luke and we saw Leia. It was kind of, oh, this is great, I love this.
Yeah.
And then it became, because one of the things that was in the trailer became obvious is that Obi-Wan left Tatooine.
Yeah.
Now, with that happening and all of us knowing his mission, it was kind of like, what in the hell would get him to leave Tatooine? You know, what? There could only really be one thing that would make him leave, and as it proved, that was what it was, and it was to do with Leia. And in essence, this is all this is. I mean, I don't know if we're really going to get into the time span of this, but I'd say all of these events are happening in a week.
I wouldn't put it for much more than that. I'd say, like, this, by the moment, this entire series could be a fortnight.
I was going to say, it's like kind of day to day. You know, we're not, because I think in episode, pardon, I'm going to have to change that to part 1 of Obi Wan Kenobi.
Yes. We
did see a little bit, we saw a few days because we got to see Obi-Wan's routine, you know, going to work.
Stuff,
yeah, so, you know, that kind of passed by. So, yeah, I think overall, like you said, a few weeks, really, from the start of the show to where we are now, I think is about right. And there's still plenty of time. Plenty of time if you want to do more Obi-Wan stories. Ewan McGregor wants to do it. Who knows? But
I mean, you could do if they were to keep it to the 6-part thing.
Yeah,
that could be a mission, a series.
Yeah, easily. Yeah,
he's off doing a little mission for someone. Here we go.
It basically becomes like the adventures of Obi-Wan during that time.
I am down for that.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Obi-Wan's definitely one of my favourite characters in all of movies, literature, anything. So I'm definitely keen to see more if there is. I've noticed something.
Okay.
And I wanted to bring it up to you. Now we kind of, I think me and you kind of touched on it, but I'm now convinced it's deliberate. And that is, this is a 6-part series, and you remember the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. So basically, the Obi Wan films, the ones he's in, there's 6 films.
Yeah.
And I think each part, so each episode we're getting, is doing nods to each episode from the original films.
Okay.
So in part 1, I'm just going to give you like basic examples, and I think there's more, but I'd have to rewatch them if that makes sense. But
yeah.
Episode 1, obviously one of the big scenes, Anakin pod racing. In part 1 of this, we see Luke run away from his uncle, jump up and start to pretend to do pod racing, basically mirroring Anakin.
Yeah.
In episode 2, Attack of the Clones, we see the emergence of the clone army. In part 2, we see the clone begging on the streets. In episode 3, we see the battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Which is obviously
in
very
part
much...
3,
yeah.
Vader and, and in the fire and everything really mirrored.
Yeah.
And now part 4, episode 4 A New Hope is Princess Leia's taken captive and Obi-Wan has to go and save her.
Save me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in part 4, Obi-Wan has to go and save her from... And also, you could go as far as saying, in A New Hope, Vader says he let them go because he's put a tracker on the ship. And in this, Reva has let them go because she's put a tracker on the ship. So, the next movie, of course, is The Empire Strikes Back, which possibly means that part 5 is going to get a bit bloody.
Potentially a bit bloody, and maybe on a random, like, ice moon.
Yeah, maybe there's going to be some snow.
That'd be so fun. Just like, the nod is just, hey, look, do you remember Hoth? Oh, I remember Hoth. Yeah, and that's it. That's all
What do you think?
Yeah. No, you know what?
Reaching?
I didn't
Or do you
even
think
clock
that's
on
there?
that. I hadn't even clocked onto that until you say that, but now you say that, that's so obvious.
I don't know how obvious, but yeah, it's. I always, whenever I notice things like this, and I tend to go online, and I sort of think to myself, well, if I've spotted it, I bet other people have, and I have seen a couple of videos of people have sort of said, oh, we think they're mirroring this. They've not used the same examples as me. Like, a few of them have gone really in depth.
Oh no!
Like, in timestamp of episode 1, Obi-Wan does this, and if you mirror that, I'm like, oh wow, okay, yeah, no,
I just like the fact that Leia needed rescuing in both 1 and 4 and 4.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, yeah, that was where, because it was funny, because the thing that actually made me think of it is, do you remember in episode 4, they've got these little communicators in their hands, and there's this scene where Luke's in the trash compactor trying to get hold of C-3PO, and it's sat on the side.
Yeah.
And in part 4, there's a scene where Obi-Wan is trying to get hold of the lady who's like infiltrated the base.
Tala. Yeah.
Tala, thank you, mate. That name escaped me completely then. But she's had to go off because she's being interrogated, and she basically kicks the crap out of that Imperial officer. But the scene is, it's sat on the desk, the communicator. And that was what prompted it. That was what, in my mind, I was like, oh, wow, that reminds me of episode 4. And then, of course, my brain went, oh, wait a minute, this whole thing reminds me of episode 4. And
yeah.
It went from there. And then, of course, once I went down the rabbit hole, I was sat thinking about it. And I have created a TikTok everyone will be delighted to hear.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. And I've done like a little side-by-side of episode 1, part 1, episode 2, part 2. I'm just going to stick my dulcet tones to it in a bit and put it live and let all 5 people watch it, which will make me feel really good inside.
Yeah.
It is funny, TikTok. You can put together a theory that's groundbreaking. You can put together a beautifully edited video, and you can put it on there, and you've got like 1,000 followers, which we have, and about 8 of them will see it. No one will comment, no one will like it. And you're like, wow, I put like an hour in, I really worked on this, it's really clever.
Yeah.
And then you'll see a girl with big boobs turn to the camera and go, oops, and like 4 million likes. And
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. I see how this works. Yeah.
It's
anyway,
depressing.
That's life.
Yeah.
that's TikTok anyway. So right, we are talking about Obi Wan Kenobi. We are talking about Part 4. I don't do the name for this. You've completely walked this one.
I know, right? This one is series. Part 4. I'm so happy. You watch Part 6 is going to have a name and he's going to throw us all.
It's going to throw, yeah. Part 6 is going to be called the finale, ? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so I do have a couple of things from this episode which I'm a little bit critiquey. Now, so
okay.
I've watched parts 1, 2, and 3 with big smiles on my face, and I know a lot of people laid into 3, and I kind of addressed that on the last show.
Yep.
But with this one, there was a couple of things, and I'm hoping you can go, oh, Sam, this, and I'll feel better about it.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, so the first thing is, and this not really a critique, just a bit of an observation. I felt like the start of this episode was rushed. And what I mean by that is it kind of goes from Obi-Wan being taken to this tank to heal to him being there to rescue her. It just, that whole beginning bit for me, like the runtime for this episode was half an hour.
Yeah, literally 32 minutes. I was gutted.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when this show was first announced, they told us all it's going to be 6 one-hour episodes. That was what they told us.
Yeah.
That was from Lucasfilm. And I even looked up the press release just to make sure I didn't misremember it or if it wasn't just what someone estimated it to be. But no, Lucasfilm press release on this show was 6 one-hour episodes because everyone was like, wow, we are basically getting a trilogy of films worth of content. Now, COVID obviously changed everything. I know that. Everybody knows that. So, unfortunately, I think we are getting truncated episodes. But just an observation, and again, what do you think? I felt like the beginning part was like blinking you'd miss it. And I know the rest of the episode, like the bulk of the episode with him getting onto this base, etc., was great. And so much there and so much for us to enjoy and talk about. But I just kind of felt like him healing, it could have done with that a little bit more.
I loved the scene where he's in the tank and Vader's in the tank and they're kind of doing that weird communication part.
Yeah, great scene.
And in my head I'm like, Sam called this. This is going to be an episode in the tank of flashbacks. Sam has called this. And then 2 seconds later he's like, where is she? I must go save her. And I'm like, oh, okay. That was...
Because to me it feels like you could have added 10 minutes to this episode. And that 10 minutes could have been perhaps a little flashbacks in the tank. But also, you could have had a little bit of character interactions with the people outside of the tank. Because there's a guy who's there who's basically running this operation.
Yep.
One of the things I love, by the way, is he called him General. I'd love to know why that.
Little nod to the Clone Wars, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to know if perhaps the guy served, but I mean, he's obviously not a clone, so
yeah.
That fascinated me. That was kind of like, oh, who are you? Why is he general to you? That's interesting to me. But I like that. That was fun. But he went from get the hell out of here to, of course I'm going to help you in 10 seconds. And like for me, it's kind of like I'd love there to have been just that little bit more.
Yeah, he spoke about the fact that his wife, from what I got of that conversation, his wife was Jedi or Jedi Force sensitive.
Yeah.
And the Empire came in and basically killed her.
Yeah.
But he went from, I'm not helping a Jedi, you shouldn't be here. We're all in trouble from you being here. They killed my wife, so yes, I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, it was like a scene had been cut out of Obi-Wan putting forward his case of, I understand that's happened, but this is what we can prevent. Always something like, it was almost as if Obi-Wan's scene was cut.
But like I said, it just felt rushed because the lines are there. Because he says like, oh, this isn't my problem. He says, well, I wish that were true. Because basically Leia knows where this place is. Yeah. So if she's been captured, you're all screwed. You need to help me get her. But like I said, so that's really a critique, the beginning bit. It just felt rushed to me. It felt like you could have added 10 minutes to this episode and it would have just felt that little bit. Because the rest of it, like the pacing of the show is brilliant. Like the once they get to the base part and they're building towards everything, I loved all of that. But that just one thing, that kind of like, I felt a little bit rushed.
Okay.
Do you know, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking to myself, what was the other thing? And it was now I remember. See, everyone, I could edit this, but I won't. I want people to hear on the podcast just how much of a numpty I really am. I forget my own points.
Yep.
One of the things in this show so far, and a lot of people have had a real issue with this, is you're breaking canon, okay?
Right.
And people have said that because the way in episode 4 Princess Leia asks for help, it's like she's addressing a stranger. In that message, she doesn't say, Ben, I need your help again. Ben, I really need you to come and help. You know, none of that. Mm-hmm. It's General Kenobi. You served my father in the Clone Wars. And it's like really formal, really kind of, she doesn't know who he is. Mm. But in A New Hope as well, there is another scene where Luke says to Leia, I'm here with Ben Kenobi. And she jumps up, Ben, where is he?
Yep.
So in my own personal headcanon to this point, I've been thinking, all the way through this, he's Ben to her. Ben. So she has been rescued by a guy called Ben Kenobi, who was a Jedi.
Yeah.
The references to Obi Wan Kenobi, she might not put two and two together. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's kind of like, that could be two different people to her.
Yeah.
So she's asked for General Kenobi, Obi-Wan. This is great Jedi called Obi-Wan, but I know one called Ben. So in my head, that was how I was justifying it. People have called me weak on that, by the way. Like, no, that's really over-justified. I'm like, okay, but that's how I'm doing it. In this episode, it is clear she knows Ben is Obi-Wan. Because Reva says to her, Obi-Wan is dead. So she knows Ben is Obi-Wan. So now I'm left with, in theory, this show does, in essence, then break canon. Because you can't tell me that a 10-year-old forgets him in 8-9 years.
No. So
what the hell? I'm left with wondering, and I really don't like this idea. And the reason why I don't like this idea is I feel like it's a cop-out.
Okay.
Is that somehow there's some sort of force trick to make her forget in the final episode.
See, I went another way. I went with the message that she gives to R2.
Yeah.
She kind of gives it as like this generalised thing just in case R2 gets captured somewhere, so there's no obvious link. Because in this episode, the obvious link between Leia and Obi-Wan puts them both in serious danger. Yeah. So therefore, in A New Hope, she's keeping it as generalised as possible so that neither of them can be used as bait to get to the other one.
Do you know what? That's interesting. I wonder if they... Again, and I know people listening will be like, wow, how far-fetched
I'm stretching on this. I'm stretching.
Yeah, but wonder if it's like... Wouldn't it be great in episode 6, they kind of like, look, if you ever need me, this is what you do. You send a message and you say, General Kenobi, you served my father in the Clone Wars and I will know you need me. If you say... Hey Ben, how you doing? I know it's just a party.
Yeah.
You know? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what if they agree like on a code? If you ever need me, I'll be there. This is what you do. You say this and I will know it's serious and I will come. Yeah.
If you need help but it's not urgent, call up Ben. If you
do you know what? That's actually...
Help,
do you know what? That's actually the simplest way of doing it. And even if people go, what? I mean, it would be correct. You would then do it because her reaction to Ben Kenobi being there in the episode 4, already being there, kind of helps with this. It helps keep it canon that she does know him.
Yep.
Because that was because if you watch that scene back, I think I sent it to you recently. She's enthusiastic. She doesn't jump up like he says, I'm Luke Skywalker and I'm here to rescue you. I'm here with Ben Kenobi. Up until the point he says Ben Kenobi, she's like, who the f*** are you? Why should I care who you are?
Yeah.
Says Ben Kenobi and she jumps up. Ben, where is he?
Yes.
So you have got that there. So if you just throw, like we just said then, like a simple line. Okay, if you ever need me, this is what you do.
Yeah.
People might really not like that. Like, you've really... I think that'd be great. I think that would solve this. Do you know it's going to be something really naff now? You know, me and you have just solved it better than they have.
They just won't address it at all.
No, they're just going to leave it. Well, if they don't address it at all, then season 2, people. Maybe we'll get a season 2 and it'll get addressed then.
Yeah.
But those are my things. What do you think? Do you think I'm being overcritical?
I know. I get. See, I had one point myself.
Okay.
My point is once Ben is inside the Inquisitor base.
Yeah.
And she's done this whole thing. Tala's done this whole thing of, I'm your superior officer. You're going to let me through. She's been allowed through.
Yeah.
She then just sits there and talks into the palm of her hand like, yeah, I'm in now, Ben. Yeah, I'm in. I'm opening that door for you now, Ben. Yep,
Yeah.
Ben, the door's open. You can sneak in now, mate. Yep, that's cool.
Well, it's
and I'm
funny.
like, wait a second. You've just snuck in already. And then there's like no chill. She might as well be shouting, going, "Yep, Kenobi. Yep, I've opened the door."
The funny thing is, man, I thought the same as you, but I actually have kind of answered that myself because, and I think you'll like this. I think this actually works really well, and I think this is what they're getting at.
Okay.
In the Empire, everyone is terrified.
Yep.
Like, so if you are a technician, your technician supervisor is terrifying to you.
Yeah.
If you're a junior officer, your officer above you is terrifying to you.
Yep.
So basically, everyone is terrified. The whole Empire is built on fear, a very Sith thing.
Yep.
All of them fear the Inquisitors. All the Inquisitors fear Vader. Everyone's scared to death of the Emperor. Do you see what my point?
Yep.
So, with her being an officer, even though that security guard was completely in the right, he shit himself.
As soon as she said, "I'm your superior officer," oh, okay.
And she's like, "Oh, who are you? Wait until I speak to the Grand Inquisitor about you." And the guy's just like, "Oh no, okay, yo, sorry, sir. Have a great day. I love you. That uniform suits you. Wow, you know."
Yeah.
She then goes in and sits down, like you say, and she's like talking to her hand. The other technicians there, I was like, seriously, not one of you's gonna look round, not one of you. And then it hit me. They're terrified. She's an officer. They're sat there thinking, I am not getting involved in that mess. I'm keeping my head down. Yeah. I am working. Because then when another officer shows up, he does question her. So I was like, okay, yeah, this does make sense. Because only officers would get into that. Whereas the junior ones are just like, no, don't need none of that noise. I am not getting involved.
Yeah, I am not getting involved in that. Yeah, maybe that's true then.
Do you see what I mean? It's like the whole thing is built on fire. She kicks the crap out of that guy as well, by the way, which I loved. And then she heads back to that desk, and you just know the other guys are like, okay, nope, definitely not getting involved. Nope,
not here. Yep.
Yeah. You just have to expect them to be like, I'm taking my lunch break. See you later, everyone.
I'm out. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so that was my... Because like you, I kind of looked at that and thought, surely someone's going to look up and just be like, who the hell are you talking to? But they wouldn't, because she's an officer. If she was just like a lowly technician, I think everyone would be like, who are you talking to? What's your operating number? Who the hell are you? But because she's actually an officer, I think she can get away with this crap.
Makes sense, actually. Yeah, it does make sense.
That's my way of thinking, anyway. But there we go. We've addressed our stuff. So, like I said, we do have these scenes where Obi-Wan is healing. He doesn't heal. He wants to get out, so he's not healed fully. What do you think to that, by the way? What do you think to the point of him jumping out of that tank early? So he's still got some scars. Whereas if he'd stayed in that tank, although he's healed like a lot, he's physically okay again, he's going to have the scars. Where if he stayed in the tank, he wouldn't. Do you think there's part of him that wants the scars?
I'm not sure.
Do you think it's purely Leia focused?
And as I was watching it, I'm kind of sat there and I'm like, come on, mate, just get back in the tank and kind of heal yourself up. We've seen it with other people. It's fine.
Yeah, give us some flashbacks.
yeah, basically, yeah. I'm like, come on, I want the flashbacks now, please. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he wanted the reminders, like you say, the scars and reminders and stuff.
Yeah. Because he is, emotional damage. There is definitely some psychological scarring there, without any sort of shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
I also, there's the scene, because obviously we discussed it. They discuss that they're going to go. She goes with him dressed as the officer in her ship, and you see him in the back of the ship trying to use the Force to move an object. And I'm like, oh damn, is this he's so badly hurt he's struggling to concentrate? Is he so out of practice? Are we like seeing a real demonstration of him trying to reconnect with his powers here? And he, we saw Vader beat the crap out of him, throwing stuff left, right, and center. Is it a case of he can't do this anymore? Is it a case that he needs to train again, almost?
Potentially, yeah.
But
as retrained,
as this episode goes, though, I think we see him really get his mojo back. In my opinion,
there is a part of this episode which I freaking loved.
Okay, well,
which is
what was that? Let's do it.
I think is so. There's the scene in the tunnel where he's holding the water back.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
I'm kind of like, that's cool. He's getting the Force, like he's showing how strong the Force is.
Yeah.
And then you see them trying to open the door, and you see his mind go, okay, I know what I'm going to do with this. And you're watching it, that's awesome. And I was like, that's really cool. He's getting his powers back. But then we see the scene where he actually rescues Leia.
Oh, yeah,
and he cuts the lights off. And that scene, I was like, this is what the fans have been waiting for.
So it's funny because I saw someone on Twitter, right? Because I think we were 2 episodes down. He hadn't lit up the lightsaber yet. And someone wrote, I can't wait for him to fire up Old Blue. That was the wording they used, and it made me laugh. I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's great.
Old Blue. That is now how
fire
it's known.
up Old Blue. So it made me laugh. Now, obviously, we saw him against Vader basically just use the saber just to survive. Just like, oh my god. You are literally trying to smash me with your lightsaber. Not stab me, not cut me. You are trying to cave my head in.
Yeah.
But in this episode, Old Blue fires up. And that scene, like you said, so he knocks the lights out. And the 2 guards are like looking around, and then you just hear the saber and see it. The visual of that, I thought was beautiful. Like the visual. The other thing I quite liked as well is this: he takes 2 to 3 swipes to kill both of them.
Yeah.
A little bit later on, he's 1 stroke kills, and I think it shows because Obi-Wan fought in the Clone Wars. Obi-Wan. You know, if you watch the animated series, the guy just wrecks battle droids.
Oh,
for fun.
Yeah.
You know, Phantom Menace, you see it. Attack of the Clones, you see it. The third part 3, the Revenge of the Sith, you see it. He is a fantastic. He is a Jedi Knight of the highest caliber.
Yeah.
And he is war. You know, been through a war. This to me felt kind of like, you know, he's had 10 years of not doing anything. And this felt to me like all that ring rust, all of that kind of, everything went. So by the time, because he even does his spin, there's a scene in a corridor where stormtroopers are coming at him and he's deflecting shots.
Yeah.
He deflects 1 shot onto the door to shut the door. He also takes out one and then he does the spin and hits a stance. He holds it for a second, maybe less than a second, but I freaking nerded out, man.
You saw it and you're like, Obi's back.
Yeah, that was it. It was just the way because he did it and it was like all of his confidence had returned. You know, it was that kind of like, oh yeah, I'm a badass. I totally forgot.
I remember how to do this now. Yeah.
But like I was talking about the similarities as well, and I was talking about things from episode 4 and part 4.
Yeah.
Another one. Do you remember in episode 4, Obi Wan Kenobi sneaking around the Death Star to lower the shield generator and the tractor beam?
Yes.
He's got to take the tractor beam out. And there's 2 guards, 2 stormtroopers, and he creates a noise, and they get distracted, and he sneaks off.
Yes.
It happened in part 4.
He does do it.
2 stormtroopers coming along, and he uses the Force to create a noise, and they turn around to go and investigate, and he sneaks off. I mean, I loved it.
I feel like it's not even subtle. Like,
no, I don't think it is. I think
they are doing deliberate nods for the fans.
I think on some of it, like I said, some people have spotted this, and they've got detail to the point that it feels like frame by frame you could do it. I've not gone that detail. I've spotted just a few things. I've gone like, oh look, clone, Attack of the Clones. You know, I've kind of done that. But with this one, I do feel like there was a lot. I feel like part 4 and episode 4, it was like a warm hug going around.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
Very much. Yeah, I like it. And I'm going to be looking out for these now. Now you've said it.
Yeah, good. I hope everyone listening, try and do it. And let us know. Drop us an email, a message via any of our social medias when part 5 drops. Anything you spot that could be a similarity with episode 5, let us know.
Potential Easter eggs, yeah.
Yeah, just stuff, because I love it. I love stuff like that. It's fun. It always feels like when filmmakers do that, it's kind of like a little hug to the fans.
And everyone, considering how big a character Obi-Wan is, there's some very big hugs. Yeah.
Oh, big time, yeah. So like we were talking about, so the scenes where he rescues Leia. Now, obviously, before he gets to Leia, we have these scenes where Leia is with Reva. How did you find those scenes? Because Reva's quite a terrifying.
She's a real menacing character. Yeah.
And I kind of shared on the podcast, I had this theory that she was trying to get to Obi-Wan because I thought she was going to go after Vader. That was based on the posters, the poster theory.
Yeah.
I'm not sure now. I like that theory. I like that theory a lot, but...
We call that a stuff and thanks theory. It lasts normally less than a week.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The reason why I'm not sure is she is willing to kill a child. Now, we've seen that she's willing to just cut through people left, right, and centre, and we've seen that.
Yeah.
But here is a senator's daughter, a princess of Alderaan, and she is no mercy. She is no kind of... There's no part of her that thinks that, oh, actually, maybe I'm crossing a line here. Maybe this one is the step too far. Maybe this is open warfare if I do this.
No, there's no chill. No chill.
She is one-track minded. And she says something in this interaction with Leia, which is what's changed my mind from her having this issue with Vader. I mean, don't get me wrong, there could still be a confrontation there because he was Anakin. And I still need to know how she knows that or why she knows that.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me was in this episode, she's talking to Leia, and Leia has the droid, and the droid flies at her, and she grabs it with the Force and holds it. Says, "Oh, I had a droid when I was young. It got taken away from me."
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that actually, because of the way the Jedi worked, and they took young children away from their families, I think this is actually a character who is now just incredibly bitter about what happened to her. So, like, if I'd still been with my family, I would not have been in the Jedi Temple. I would not have been there when Order 66 happened. I would not have been surrounded by carnage and blood. I would not have been taken by the Emperor. I would not now be this.
Gotcha.
And it's almost like her anger at the Jedi has been manipulated by the Emperor, by Vader, to make her an Inquisitor.
Yep.
And it's like, we talk about Anakin having that conflict. And in episode 4, 5, and 6, you see the conflict is, he's really struggling with the fact that he's done all of these things and it's too late for him. He says it, it's too late for me. I've done too much. I'm too bad.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if perhaps with Reva, we're seeing that on a slightly different time frame, a slightly different scale, where she feels this unbelievable anger towards the Jedi because of that. But that's because she's been manipulated to feel that way. Like Vader, the Emperor, whoever, have basically taken this powerful young Padawan, and have gone, right, okay, let's, the Jedi are the reason you're here. Because she keeps saying stuff like that, the Jedi left him to die. The Jedi don't care. They abandon you. And I think all of that is actually very personal to her. I think it's how she feels.
Yeah, so I get that.
Like I said, I'm not sure where that character is going to go. Why Obi-Wan? Why? I think these are the questions I want addressed. I'd like to know why she has the massive issue with Obi-Wan. I did see a theory that in Star Wars Rebels, famously, you come across a outbound message from the Jedi Temple from Obi Wan Kenobi, basically warning all the Jedi to stay clear. Don't go back to the temple. The time of the Jedi Order is over. Hide. Get away. And that message from Obi-Wan, if you're a youngling and you're in the temple taken prisoner perhaps, and you hear that Obi-Wan has told everyone to stay away and leave, don't go back there, you're going to maybe feel a little pissed at that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. They could have all saved us, but you've just told them not to. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that Obi-Wan was there, him and Yoda went into the temple to change that message and wreck a fair few clones. That's probably one of my favourite ever memes, by the way, and it still makes me laugh to this day. So there's a really famous scene about Ahsoka not wanting to kill the clones because they were her brothers in arms throughout the whole Clone War.
Yeah.
So when Order 66 happens, she really struggles with it and doesn't want to hurt them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, in the scene, you've got Yoda and Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith just literally cutting through clones like hot knives through butter.
Yes.
And the memes like Yoda's like, I killed 400, have I? It's like, and Obi-Wan's like, I think that was Cody. Like they don't, like they got no chill.
Yeah.
Like they don't care. It's one of my favourite memes. I love it. But yeah, sorry, going back to it. What do you think about Reva? Do you think again I'm overthinking it, or do you think there's more to it, or do you think that perhaps it is being overthought and she's just a bad guy?
I'm really not sure. Like I personally hate it. Like, if a bad guy is just a bad guy and there's no reason for it, it's just like, here's a baddie. There's a few other shows that we do podcasts about, and we've seen it before, like a baddie will turn up for like 4 or 5 episodes in a season for no reason whatsoever. It's just like, oh, we've got nothing to write about this week, put a bad guy in. And I can't stand it. Like, I like characters to have a reason. Like, everything has to have a reason.
I agree. Yeah.
And Reva's reason, like you, there's so many different reasons it could be. Yeah. And I'm really hoping it does get addressed. Just to find out what her reasoning, I mean, maybe season 2. But what her reasoning is behind this whole... Is it, is it completely wrong and actually she's madly in love with Anakin Skywalker?
Yeah, that'd be a turn up.
Actually she was one of the younglings that had a crush on her teacher, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And this is how she's trying to gain his approval because, look, he never notices me, but actually if I bring him Obi-Wan, he'll notice me and then we can be happy forever.
I think one of the things a lot
if that happens, man, that'd be cringe.
That'd be really cringy. I think one of the things that really angers a lot of the Star Wars fans who are massive fans of the legends and the comics and the books, etc., which are some canon, some not anymore, and people are arguing over what is, what isn't, is the fact that Vader basically straight up murdered everybody who knew who he was. So anyone who knew he was Anakin, they're dead. And so for this person to know, everyone, I think quite rightly, I want that to be addressed. I want to understand how she knows that and how she's being allowed to live knowing that. It feels strange. I do have a kind of ending for her in this, which I don't know. So let's imagine my theory is correct, and actually she's been trying to get Obi-Wan so she can get close to Vader to kill him, because ultimately she does know it's Anakin, and all of her anger, all of her Sith power, if you like, is because of him, and she's just pure rage monster.
Yeah.
So imagine that is the case, and she does try it, but obviously she fails. I like the idea that because at the moment everyone's acting like the Grand Inquisitor's dead, but we all know in canon he isn't.
Yeah.
Just imagine him walking through the door and being the one to finish Reva. Like, he's the one who kills her.
Yeah.
He walks in and Vader's like, it's time for you to face the Grand Inquisitor, Jedi, or something like that to her. And she's like, I'm no Jedi. And the Grand Inquisitor comes in and goes, yes, you are, and kills her.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. We're there you go. That's my theory. I'm gonna go with that one. We're gonna stick with that one for this week.
That's this week.
Get destroyed. Once I get destroyed in the opening montage of episode 4. Sorry, 5. Can you believe we've only got 2 left?
Yeah, it's gone quick. I think having those first 2 drop together, it has gone quick.
It's just kind of sad. Like, I've been looking forward to this, loving it so much. When I saw the runtime was 30 minutes, I was like, you bastards.
Honestly, I didn't look at the runtime, but when it got to the end of the episode and like the credits started, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, that seemed really quick. I know it was a good episode and I enjoyed it. And when you enjoy an episode, obviously it always seems like it goes quicker.
Yeah.
And then I pressed my pause button on it to turn it on. I was like, wait a minute, 32 minutes. This podcast is now longer than that episode was. And I was like, you bastards. Like, where's the other half hour? Oi.
Yeah, where's excuse me, Lucasfilm, you appear to be missing half of this episode.
I would like a refund. Give me the other half.
I really hope that we've got 5 and 6 are 50 minutes to an hour.
Episode
really
6
hope.
is 2.5 hours. It's actually a movie.
No, that'll do. Yeah, I'm there. I
I'm
would,
all for it.
yeah, I would be in love with that idea, but I don't think.
We
Something tells me
couldn't
it's
give
going to
Obi Wan
be
his own solo movie, so instead, here, have a 2.5 hour episode.
episode finale. Yeah, I'd love that. But like I said, we see these scenes with Reva and Leia. One of the things in this scene as well is Reva's trying to use the Force to get into Leia's head.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen similar things like this across Star Wars in the past. We've even seen it with Reva in this series.
Yeah.
Why isn't Reva picking up on the fact that Leia's Force sensitive?
Yeah, so there's the scene where she's trying to interrogate her and she's got the hand over her head and she's like, oh, you're really strong. It's like, no, clearly she's not really. I mean, yes, she is very strong-willed.
With the Force.
But,
The way she says, oh, is this a staring contest?
I love that.
It's like, oh,
sass.
you little shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she makes 2 or 3 snarky comments where you're like, she's going to kill you in a minute. Like, you are going to pee her off.
The moment where it looked like she was breaking, like, okay, I'll tell you where they are.
Yeah.
We're all on the same side, so, I'll tell my dad first. I was like, oh, man, you little fucker.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
I cannot believe you've done that. And the best thing as well is, like, Reva seemed to be completely taken in. It's like, oh, you have my word, no one will get hurt. Yeah. And then was like, you little... Right, that's it. Time to go and be killed.
Yeah, I'm done now. Yeah, we're all on the same side. You said it yourself, so I'll just go and tell Daddy.
And then as soon as she's like, right, I hope you like pain, I'm going to get those tears for real. And she's like, I'm never going to tell you anything. I'm like, whoa. So basically, Leia, from a young age, is a badass.
Yeah.
But also, in episode 4 again, and she's taken prisoner, and she's like so nonchalant. So like, whatever, kiss my rat.
Yeah.
She's just so mouthing off. Clearly it's because she's done this her whole life.
Yeah, she has spent a lot of time, I'm guessing, being captured, interrogated and released.
It just kind of like struck me how funny this is. That like, oh, well, if a 10-year-old isn't going to break, no wonder why 19-year-old version is just like middle fingers the whole time. Yeah.
You will speak to us like fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, whatever, kiss my ass. Yeah. So Princess Leia, again, badass.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be said, whether she's 10 or 19 or 30 or 40, she's still a badass.
Yes, the whole way through. Yeah.
Just a little thing, a side note. I think Carrie Fisher would have loved this.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. From interviews and stuff you've seen with her over the years, I think she'd really be enjoying this. I think she'd love this little girl.
Yeah.
And the trail. Yeah, sorry. It's just a side note. It's so sad she's gone. Such a lovely, warm one. It felt like the world kind of just got her back and understood her again, and she was gone. So
yes,
it was a terrible shame. But I think she'd love what this girl's doing. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
I agree.
Sorry. Yeah. So moving on from that emotional moment, manly. We like I said, we have this scene with Reva, and she takes her off to kill her. Tala the spy is one of my little notes. What did you think of Tala's clever create a diversion? What did you think of that? And was there any moment where you thought maybe she isn't good, or were you just completely?
I was
no.
I was more the line of Tala's dead.
yeah, that's true.
I was down the whole line of just cause a diversion. And I was like, as soon as Obi said that, you're like, oh no, he has just written her death sentence.
Yeah.
Because Reva's just about to kill Leia.
Yeah.
Oh, they said it's urgent. It can't wait. And she walks out, and as Reva walks out, you're kind of like, oh, Tala, you've messed up this one. Yeah. You should have sent someone else. Send someone else as the diversion. Don't go yourself. Oh dear.
Yeah, you use the fact you're an officer and send a stormtrooper in.
Yeah.
Go tell third sister that she's double parked.
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
Just do it.
Yeah, she left her spacecraft indicator on. She's gonna run the battery out. Can you go get her keys? I don't know. Yeah,
her spacecraft indicator.
I don't know.
No. She left the lights on her shuttle.
Yeah.
The batteries are going to be dead.
Battery's draining. Do you know how much these reactor cores cost? Go tell her to get the keys. Yeah.
Yeah. Go sort that out. And if she says no, you insist because I'm an officer.
Yeah.
Just like a stormtrooper get thrown across the base. Oh, look, there we go. Bye, Dave.
I guess she said no. Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, she doesn't care about her battery.
But no, yeah, that was my thought. My thought was, oh, okay, this is the end of Tala's character then.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not. I'm
Yeah.
quite enjoying Tala. It'd be interesting to see what her arc is from this point on, but because obviously they now know she's not part of the Empire.
Yeah, that cover I feel like is blown. Yeah.
She's lost that. But yeah, she does manage to get away, which is good. So obviously Tala's someone who is going to be part of the Rebel Alliance. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I wonder if we will see Tala in any other medium, in any other show. But that's for that. And there's 2 episodes of this left, of course, so plenty of time for her to be killed off.
Well, that is very true, yeah.
One of the big scenes in this episode, then, is the fact that Obi-Wan jumps through the water, swims, Tala opens a door, and he works his way up through the base.
See, that was giving me episode 1 vibes. The swimming underwater to get the base.
Yeah. Episode 1, where they swim down to the Gungan.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, well, he uses the same kind of Jedi mouthpiece, doesn't he, for swimming. But yeah, he gets there and he works his way through the base, and one of the things that he gets to like a secure area, and I think he believes that's going to be the prison, where the prisoners are going to be. But when he gets there, it's, in his words, a tomb.
Yeah, that place wasn't what I expected.
How messed up is that?
Yeah, that was not what I expected. And I'm like, who are these people? Like, and then you see like the young child and stuff, and it's like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so basically, fans of the Clone Wars will have recognised at least 2 of the characters. Fans of various other Star Wars comic properties and stuff will recognise there are Jedi Knights there.
Yeah.
Jedi Masters there. There is a youngling we see there. A lot of people theorizing that youngling is the one that Anakin first saw. It's not. It's not that one. Similar hat, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's just in 2 bits, so that one's not been preserved. You see a number of other characters there. There's a lot there. I mean, I'm not going to unpack it all, but if you're a massive fan of all the different literature and stuff like that around Star Wars, you could sit there and go through it and pick out loads. There's a representative of Darth Maul's planet there. The females on that planet, I'm trying to think. Well, they're basically witches. They're like Force sensitive.
Yeah.
And the Emperor sent Dooku in to wipe them out at one point, and clearly the Inquisitors have got one and now a trophy. Someone pointed out what I didn't see, by the way, is in the Inquisitors' main chamber, like their meeting room.
Yeah.
All around the room are lightsabers. So basically, they have kept them as trophies for all the Jedi they've killed, and the room's full of them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I was having a quick look on the good old IMDb, because they always have like the trivia bits on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, they said like when Obi-Wan is in the Fortress Inquisitorus,
yeah,
the body of the Jedi Master Tira Sanubu, who helped Ahsoka find her lightsaber in the Clone Wars episode Lightsaber Lost, can be seen in one.
Yeah.
Now I've seen that episode, so that's a tick for me.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There really is. So, for anyone who's fan of those, enjoy it. Go back and watch it again. You'll probably spot some stuff. But from a story point of view, how awful is that for Obi-Wan to walk into that place?
Yeah, a man who is really struggling with the Force and everything at the moment, to then walk in and have all the tomb and all the lightsabers and everything else, and
well, he feels responsible for the fall of the Jedi Order.
Yeah,
he feels that him training Anakin
was what led
and
to
Anakin
everything.
Turning is what.
And he's literally walked into a tomb of reminders.
And he's walked in. Yeah, he's walked into a tomb which has got children in it.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question: why have they done this? Why would they preserve all of those? Because that's not Vader's place. That's not his goat. This is the, as you said, Inquisitor place. Yeah. I'm not even going to try.
Fortress Inquisitorus.
Yeah, if you say so, brother.
That's going to be the new name for my Wi-Fi.
Fortress. My Wi-Fi still called Skynet just because I want to freak my neighbour out. You have now connected to Skynet. Oh no! Yeah, it's been that way for quite some time. I also want to get my Alexa to respond to it, but it ain't gonna happen anytime soon. If you ever ask your Alexa, "Are you related to Skynet?" she does this really weird coy denial thing. You ought to try that. But anyway, no, wife, no. What are you talking about? What are you to that? Yeah, I don't know what you mean. But anyway, the like I said, the tomb. Why are they there? I have a theory.
Go on.
And I feel like if my theory is correct, they are trying to backsell some of the worst storytelling in Star Wars history.
Okay.
In the sequel trilogy, the line that Star Wars fans will get a shiver is, somehow Palpatine has returned.
Yep.
I think all of us can look at that and go, wow, brilliant. There's a whole thing in that about cloning, about this massive arc of this lab, about basically trying to clone. In The Mandalorian, we learn about Moff Gideon has been trying to get the blood of Grogu from midichlorians because they're doing this research.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think the Inquisitors hunting down Jedi, killing them, and bringing them here to keep them isn't just trophies.
This is part of the cloning process.
Part of they are trying to find a way of extracting the midichlorians. I don't know. This is like me wild theory because I cannot understand why they would be preserving them like that. I mean, you could pay it off as simply as it's sick.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of keeping hunting trophies, I suppose. Which for me, I've never really thought that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, no, is it possible that it is almost like... But then, I would say like, it's almost like they're bragging rights of look at all these Jedi, but then they're not bragging rights because they're all hidden.
Yeah, it's not like they're on the wall. If you arrived at that place and literally hanging on walls were heads of Jedi, you'd be like, whoa.
This place is messed up, okay.
Yeah, this place is messed up and I am not going to let people know I can float rocks.
Yeah.
This is clearly not the place to let people know I know what I'm doing with the
I tried that again last week. I still can't do it.
Nah, me neither. I'm hoping I'll get there one day.
I thought they moved,
if I ever
but I realised it was just a cat walk past.
If I ever do, I'm going to freak myself out so bad.
Sitting in the garden, the rock falls over. Ah!
Yeah.
Nope!
Yeah.
Nope!
Run away! So the tomb scene, that's kind of crazy. But like I said, we touched on it a little bit earlier on, but I just want to touch on it again. His Obi-Wan getting his mojo back.
It's awesome.
Because earlier in the episode, not able to move that communicator across a desk to holding all of that water. I think it's almost like it's there, and because he was in the situation, he had to do it. Like, Leia's there.
Yeah.
He's going to die. She's going to die. He needs to do it. It's like, bang, there you go. Like when he saved her. She's fallen to her death. He had to do it, or she would
And that is what made him kind of click into gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I think if Leia hadn't have been there, that may have gone very differently.
Yeah, and I think he does that, but it's almost like in doing these things he's done in this moment. Like I said, the saber spin was there. Loved that. I could watch that over and over again. That is, I mastered that when I was a kid because I love it so much. So nerdy, so stupid, but I actually have a lightsaber.
I got mine is sat above my desk and I'm looking at it and I'm like, I wonder how much I'd have to practice.
No, it's not too bad actually. The basic spin's okay. It's the behind the back one to bring it back, which by the way is completely unnecessary in combat. He doesn't need to do that. Good, but it's cool. It's really cool.
We are such geeks that me and you have matching lightsabers. Yeah,
we do.
Cool.
We're that cool.
You wait. We'll be at MCM, like the Comic Cons and stuff, and you'll see us two walking around in robes and a lights. Oh my god, that's such an easy costume.
Yeah. I'm good with that.
Robe and lightsaber, done. Comic Con, that was easy.
Yeah,
and then just a Stuff and Thanks T-shirt underneath it, done.
I can bring my own beard and everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Sorry, under the robe, just a T-shirt. I'm gonna be wearing pants and trousers.
Yeah, just T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a t-shirt. What, you're going to be like Deadpool and it, just free cocking it through with the robe around you. Interesting.
Would you like to see my lightsaber? No, let's not get into this. No.
Hello there.
Exactly. I've seen how some of the people are dressed at Comic-Con. Harlequin's going to walk past and it'll be like, press the button.
No.
Hello there.
Yeah. I think cosplaying as Obi Wan Kenobi and just basically every person. Hello there.
Oh.
That works.
Yeah.
That works for
It
me.
just works out when my wife won't let me go to Comic-Con.
Yeah. I don't think it took working out. I think it was there all along.
Live to all of our audience, I've just admitted. Let's just freeball it round Comic-Con saying hello there. Yeah.
To all the pretty ladies, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I have it on tape now. I have the recording. I've just made a quick note. But yeah, I love this episode. I mean, what do you think? I mean, there's a scene with Vader and Reva, which is when we learn about the droid has been converted. Lola is now a spy. Lola's now a tracking device.
I didn't like that Lola. Never liked that Lola.
No, not a fan.
No,
What did you think of the scene though? Vader and Reva, because Vader walks in like he's just gonna snap her neck.
I genuinely thought he was going to. I thought that was kind of like there we go. Okay, that was unexpected. Oh no, she's talked him down. Like, and then you got to think about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Reva has just been able to talk down Vader.
Yeah, Vader, yeah.
Obviously,
there's something
obviously
there.
a romantic
there's something we
click
don't know.
there somewhere, see?
I don't know about romantic, but there's something there.
I'm shipping it, I think is what the cool kids saying it.
They're shipping... No, not Darth Reva.
Darth Reva.
No.
Takes her to the dark side. Yeah.
The Reva takes her to the dark... No, stop. There's too many... My language on this podcast has been bad today, and I apologise for that, because I've just been, so focused on what I was doing in the enjoyment.
Yeah.
We're now heading to a dark place where
The
I'm going
dark
to be
side,
making...
indeed.
I'm going to be making Star Wars sex puns, and I think it's at this point we draw the line and say, no, time to go.
Yeah.
Hello there.
But no, I did think when he walked into the room and his force choked her up in the air. And I thought, oh, okay, that's what they like. No, I thought, this is it. Reva's in trouble. You got the fifth brother there, who we know wants to get rid of Reva anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, she's done. And then she manages to kind of get out the whole kind of stumbles out of her mouth about the tracking thing, and he puts her down. Maybe I did underestimate you. And it's like, okay. The fifth brother's just kind of stood there. His face is like...
he's so mad. He's so mad. It's like, but the base got smashed up. And she's like, the only thing that matters is Kenobi, which is what Vader wants.
Yeah.
Vader's like, yeah, you're right. That is the only thing that matters.
Which is... it's like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will end just the discussion on a moment where Leia takes Obi-Wan's hand, by the way. That was kind of like heart melting moment.
Yeah, it's so cute.
It was cute, and I think that's how we should end it.
Yeah.
I love this episode.
I really did.
I know I said about, there's a few things I was, critiquing and stuff, but I hope people put that in the context of my enjoyment. It was just kind of like, I wish there'd been a little bit more of this, and but that's, just my opinion. And like I said, the Obi-Wan Ben thing, I think we've solved it. Me and you have done it, so... Hopefully they've done it as well as we came up with.
So obviously I have a quick look I always look on IMDb and stuff like that. Yeah. And my God, it is being absolutely slated.
Oh, really?
Wow. I'm scrolling now. Just checking. Okay, I haven't got it on any kind of show it in order of rating or anything.
Yeah.
It's 5 stars, 3 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars, 5 stars, 1 star, 2 star, 5 star. My favourite one is 30 minutes 20 seconds.
Yeah. What the hell?
3 star, 2 star, 3 star, 5 years, 5 stars, and I'm like, really? Me and you are both it's the same as the book. And we watched that.
The Book of Boba Fett.
And we watched that, and me and you are just absolutely living for the come on, inject the content straight into our eyeballs. We are loving it. And yet, somehow, this got a rating of 6.6 out of 10 by 5.6 thousand people. And I'm like...
I do think that Star Wars fans are the only fandom that don't appear to like Star Wars.
I'd say some of the things. Now, in general, I try and avoid Twitter. I leave Twitter to you.
Yeah, I know.
Because Twitter, I just find Twitter toxic. And my problem is that I have very little filter.
Yeah.
So when I see someone make a real dick comment on Twitter, I can't help myself but tell them that's a dick comment. So that's why, because then it gets very toxic, and I leave that to you. But some of the stuff I've seen this week on Twitter, it was the person that was like, "Oh, look at this! This proves that Anakin was right the whole time because Obi-Wan wanted to be Leia's dad. That proved he wanted Padme."
Oh, yeah, what a take that was. So basically, in the last episode, part 3, there was a moment where Leia asks, "Are you my real father?"
Yeah.
And Ben says, "Oh, I wish I was." Anyone with half a brain knows it's because your dad's actually an evil psychopath who's murdering half the galaxy at the moment. So I really wish I could give you a hug and say, "No, it's me.
It's fine. I look after you. Don't worry." No.
But people took that as, he clearly wanted to give it to Padme. Anakin was right. Yeah. I'm like, what?
I was like, how did you get that from that?
What?
And it's like, I've seen things this episode as well, and it's just like, you look at it and you're like, have you ever watched Star Wars before?
That's the thing. And like, the funny thing is, like, for me, is casual fans. So like, my one of my brothers enjoys Star Wars. He's not someone who's going to be able to recite stuff. He's not like me. And my dad always liked the Star Wars films. He thinks they're fun.
Yeah.
So he's watching Obi Wan Kenobi, and his reaction, "Oh, it's good fun, isn't it? It's good."
Yeah.
Just like, so casually, people are just enjoying it, which is great.
It seems like the more of a hardcore Star Wars fan you call yourself,
the more you hate Star Wars.
Yeah. I think there was something someone I put online. So there's a scene in this, just quickly, we completely missed over it. They're walking out the base and the snow speeders come in. And they've obviously been modified snow speeders. Yeah. And they've come in. And that's a really cool scene. And I saw someone put online going, "Well, this isn't correct, is it? Because these didn't actually get introduced until this point in this film." And it's like, oh, okay, so just because we don't see them until The Empire Strikes Back, that means they didn't ever exist.
But Obi-Wan name drops them earlier. When he's at the place, he says, "Oh, you've got a couple of T whatever he calls them," and they're like,
T-47s or something.
"Yeah, we use them. Like, we use them for like draining swamps," or I can't remember what she says, like garbage.
Yeah, basically like litter dropping, pick up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and he's like,
people on Twitter are like, "Well, that's not canon because they don't get introduced for another like 30 years," and it's like.
I think people also like to use words that they hear. But like, there's a guy who's got like 3 million YouTube subscribers, purely Star Wars content, and his content is always based around giving the information of characters. Like, okay, we've just seen this person introduced, let me give you the backstory. And I've watched this person's content for a long time, and I've always been like, "Oh, that's really interesting. No, that's good. Like, thank you for sharing that. That's interesting."
Is he the TikTok?
Always quotes. No, I don't think so. No, I think that's similar. I mean, there's a lot of people who do similar things, and it's good. And TikTok's a lot shorter, like bite size. Yeah. But this person on YouTube is slating every episode, and I mean, like, going into minutiae detail about why it's wrong. And I've seen it shared. I've seen a few clips shared, and I thought to myself, well, I'll have a look and I'll see. And if at the end of it, I think to myself, well, look, you know far more about Star Wars than I do. I'll just concede and just work on the fact that I'm enjoying it, so I'm happy. Yep. But I've gone through it, and I'm like, you may know more about Star Wars than me in terms of the detail and the terms of which Jedi, you know.
He's got the Star Wars Wikipedia page open.
Yeah. You know, which you may know which Wookiee became a Jedi and blah 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 blah, but all this stuff. Yeah. But you're missing the point in so many aspects of like the storytelling. It's almost like you've gone so far into the detail.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the picture anymore. You're like looking at pixels, not the actual image.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm guessing it's what people want though, because like I said, 3 million plus subscribers on YouTube, thousands of comments telling him how great he is. It's just toxic. Like, the comment base of it is toxic. Attacking a 10-year-old girl actress, attacking a black woman, calling out her performance.
Yeah, it's like people like to be miserable.
It's not even It's not even thinly veiled.
No.
It is awful. It's awful. Apparently the show's been ruined by a woke agenda.
What?
I've not seen...
What?
Yeah. I'm
that
not...
word is one of those words that I cannot stand, because that is like one of those words. Woke agenda is now that thing where if I don't like something, I'm just going to say it's woke, because then that kind of covers all bases and I don't have to explain why I don't like it.
Yeah, but the mainstream media won't tell you that.
No.
It's one of my favourite sentences in the world. Sam, the mainstream media won't tell you this, but I'm kind of like, oh, they're not telling me that because it's horseshit.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a reason the mainstream media have looked at this and gone, no, I'm not going to report it. It's because the earth isn't flat, you fucking moron.
Yeah. But like...
Hello there.
There's like this, we're 4 parts into this. And I have loved... I mean, the only thing I haven't loved is the fact that the episode was so short this week.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. 1 star for me for that.
Everything else, everything down to the fight between Vader and Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan's completely overpowered, and it's like, hate and anger against 10 years of suppression. You know, of course one's going to win over the other. And in this episode, things that happen, and people are kicking off, and you're like, but why? Why are you trying to make yourself miserable by looking through all these faults? Like, if you like Star Wars, enjoy it.
Enjoy Star Wars, yeah. It's almost like the prequels, isn't it? The prequels, everyone hated them when they come out, and people watch them now. Like, oh, actually, they're good films. I watched The Phantom Menace the other day, because at the end of one of these episodes, it comes up and goes, hey, would you like to watch The Phantom Menace? And I thought, you know what? I got some time. Yeah, I'll put The Phantom Menace on. I am going to say something really controversial for Star Wars fans right now, okay?
Misa Jar Jar Binks. How, Miss, I help you?
C-3PO
is an arse.
Is more annoying than Jar Jar Binks.
Yes!
That is controversial, I know,
do you know what?
But I'm going to stand by that.
Do you know what? This is great for me, because one of my favourite scenes in Star Wars is C-3PO being taken apart and having to be put in a bag, because the character just done my head in from day one.
One of my favourite things in Star Wars is how much Han Solo hates C-3PO and doesn't hide it. All. Like, he's not, like, he doesn't hate all droids. He isn't like that. He isn't Mando. He isn't that. He just hates C-3PO and tells him, like, shut up on a regular basis.
I have cyborg relations. Yeah, shut up.
Nah. So that's my controversial Star Wars opinion. I've watched Phantom Menace again. Jar Jar Binks is less annoying than C-3PO.
I'm so happy.
And on that note, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for listening. Your interactions, I love them. Keep emailing in. You know you are if you've emailed. Shall I name... I'll tell you what, before I go, shall I name drop a few
Go on, let's
people?
do the... Let's finish on some emails. Go on then.
All right, hang on.
We are now running at double time of the episode. We are giving the people the extra that they missed on the episode now. So
we are the one that you want. We are the one.
LucasFilm, we're doing it for you guys. Don't you worry.
Okay. First up, Johnny Stark. Johnny, thank you for always emailing in. He didn't like part 3, by the way. No, he had issues, but I think after he listened to the podcast, he said that, you know, I kind of helped with some of them, but not all of them. He didn't like, but I think he liked part 4. But he always emails in. A big thank you. We always get messages as well from Ryan Miller. Hi, Ryan. He says, I think this Kenobi series is brilliant. He also is really happy because he has this show to listen to on his train ride home.
I hope it's a long journey.
So if you are listening to this, enjoy. He also asks if we watched Ms. Marvel yet. No, that is
this evening's job.
Yeah, we're trying to keep up, all right? Just chill. Just chill, Ryan. Yeah, there's a lot out there, but that show will be out tomorrow, and we're being joined by the lovely Kaylee for that. Well, I say lovely. She ain't gonna listen to this. I'm gonna say what I like. Right, tart. Anyway, Catherine's from Alabama, son. Sorry, Catherine. Whenever I see Alabama, I have to say that. Yeah, or I could have done that. That'd have been better. But anyway, hello, Catherine.
Hello there.
She says, massive thank you for the show, really enjoying it. There's a few bits in the series I've not understood, and then I've listened to the podcast and you guys have explained it beautifully. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
That was nice.
Thank you very much, yeah.
I've got a tradition now. I'm going to keep doing this. Lewis doesn't say where he's from, but hello, Lewis.
Hello there.
Lewis says, really enjoying the podcast on the Obi Wan Kenobi series. I thought the Book of Boba Fett was great. I really agreed with you guys on that. That's when I started listening, so I've been looking forward to this. Every episode I read online how crap it is, but then I listen to the podcast and you agree with me, so very happy, looking forward to the next show. Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you very much. Yep.
Lastly is Thomas in London. Thomas says, hey guys, loving the Obi Wan Kenobi pod series. Cannot wait for you to do part 4. Watched it yesterday. When did this come? Oh, okay. Came in yesterday. Watched it yesterday. Absolutely loved it. Really, what's it say? Sorry, it's a typo. I think he means to say, really enjoyed the lightsaber work in the corridor. Felt like Obi-Wan was a badass again. Yeah, that's what we said.
Agree.
Yeah, completely agree. So,
hello there.
To you as well.
The problem is now is that every time I hear that hello there, I'm just thinking of Comic-Con and opening a robe and flashing people.
That's and on that note, I want to say a massive thank you. No, you're done. You're done. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for listening. Please do get in touch. We will now read you out and hit the hello there thing to you. Message us via Facebook, Instagram. You can find us on Twitter, Podcast of Thangs. You can find us on Instagram. Just search the podcast title. You'll be able to find us. You can go to the website. There's a comment section on there as well. You can also find us on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel. We're everywhere. You can find us. stuffandthangspodcast.com is the website. Stuff and Thangs Podcast. If you search that in Google, you'll find a plethora of options and ways to contact us. And email, I'll throw it in the podcast description, so it's easy for you. We will be back next week discussing more Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you're interested in Marvel, the show tomorrow will be on the first episode of Miss Marvel. If you like The Boys from Amazon Prime, that show is now live discussing the opening 3 episodes of Season 3. If you're a Walking Dead fan, our Fear the Walking Dead finale episode came out yesterday. You can find that one. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, I am co-hosting that show with my daughter, who's obsessed with that show. You can find that. Those episodes are live as well. Until next time we speak again, everyone, you all take care.
Goodbye there.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.